You grow the tomato yourself, wait all summer, and the first bite still tastes like the one from the produce aisle. Pale, mostly water. Barely any of the flavor you remember from a backyard tomato growing up. This video is about one soil drench made from 4 things already in your kitchen, poured straight onto the roots. It costs less than $2 a batch. The first sign shows up in about 2 weeks, darker leaves, thicker stems, more flowers than the plant next to it. The flavor follows right behind. I was skeptical the first time somebody told me to pour dairy into my soil. Figured I'd just be growing mold instead of tomatoes. Mixed the first batch too strong, used it anyway, and the smell alone told me I'd done it wrong. There's one step in mixing this that almost everybody skips, and skipping it is the exact reason most people try this once and never see a difference. That part's coming up. The instinct with tomatoes is straightforward. Water them, fertilize when you remember, let the plant do what a tomato plant does. That's not even a lazy approach, it's just what most guides tell you to do. The problem shows up later. A tomato plant is one of the hungriest things you'll put in a garden bed, and the demand isn't steady through the season. It spikes hard right when the stem is building and the first flowers are forming. That's exactly the window most people are still on autopilot, watering on schedule, feeding whenever they think of it. That's not far off from eating whatever's in the fridge and calling it a balanced diet. Technically, eating. Not exactly what the plant needed. Feed it wrong right there and everything downstream changes. Not just how much fruit you get, what that fruit actually tastes like. Yellow leaves, thin stems, slow growth, flowers that don't hold, that's rarely just a fertilizer number problem. 9 times out of 10 it traces back to what's happening below the surface, in the root zone and the soil around it. Here's what I actually think. Flavor isn't decided at the end, right before harvest. It's decided weeks earlier, underground, while the plant is either building a root system that can pull in what it needs, or struggling along with one that can't. Everything you taste in August was decided back in June. What moves that needle isn't more fertilizer. It's feeding the microorganisms already living in your soil, the ones that break nutrients down into something roots can actually use. Strengthen that and the root system gets stronger on its own without you doing anything else differently. There's a mix that does exactly that. 4 things, all sitting in most kitchens right now. And there's one part of making it that decides whether it works at all. First, buttermilk, 100 milliliters mixed into 400 milliliters of clean water. Buttermilk carries beneficial bacteria that improve the environment around the roots, the same kind of microbial activity healthy compost brings, just in liquid form. A carton runs a couple dollars and covers several batches. Second, active dry yeast. 1 tablespoon straight from a standard packet. No need to grind it or do anything special to it first, it activates on its own once it's in water. Yeast wakes up the microbial activity already living in your soil, gives it something to work with right away instead of sitting dormant. Third, honey, half a teaspoon. This is the piece almost nobody expects, and it's doing more work than it looks like. Those microorganisms need energy to function, and honey is what fuels them. Skip it, and the rest of the mix runs on far less than it should. Fourth, half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Not for the soil biology, this one keeps pests and fungal issues from moving in while everything else is getting established. Mix them wrong, and none of this does what it's supposed to. Mix all 4 into the water and let it sit about 2 hours. That rest is what lets everything activate and ferment lightly, which is what gets the microbial activity going before it ever touches the soil. After 2 hours, stir it again. Pour the whole mix into a watering can with 1 liter of clean, room temperature water, and stir until it's fully diluted. That dilution step is what makes the difference between this working and this doing nothing. It's not there to stretch the batch further, it's there so the roots take it in gradually instead of getting hit with something too concentrated all at once. This is for tomato plants that are mature and actively growing, or just starting to flower, not for young seedlings. Their root systems aren't developed enough to handle it yet. Before you water, clear any weeds from around the base and loosen the top of the soil a little. More oxygen reaches the roots that way, which helps them take in everything you just fed them. Apply at the base, about twice a month during steady growth. Once flowering starts, that shifts to every 10 to 15 days, because that's when nutrient demand goes up to support flowers turning into fruit. Got more than a couple plants? Scale the whole recipe up by the same ratio, same proportions, just more of each ingredient and more water. Don't make it stronger per plant. That's a different mistake with the same result. Growing in containers or on a patio instead of a bed, the same mix works. Water it in slowly at the base like anything else in a pot, and keep an eye on drainage so it's not sitting in standing water. Get all of this right, and there's still one thing about your own soil that decides how far it can take you. Here's where most people lose the benefit entirely. They skip the rest period, or they pour it in without diluting it in that full liter first. Feels like a shortcut. It isn't. Skipping the weight and pouring it straight in is a lot like microwaving a frozen lasagna on high because you're hungry now. Looks done on the outside. Still cold and wrong in the middle. Use it too concentrated and you'll usually smell it. That's the smell people associate with buttermilk going bad in the garden, and it's a fair concern if you've heard it before. But that smell almost always means it wasn't diluted properly, not that the ingredient itself is the problem. Get the ratio right, and that smell doesn't happen. Have you noticed a real difference between a tomato you grew yourself and one from the store? Let me know what stood out. Give it a few weeks on that schedule and the plant looks different. Leaves come in darker green. Stems thicken up. More flowers show up than on a plant that didn't get this. And the fruit that follows holds more of that flavor people remember from a garden tomato, instead of the flat, watery version from the produce aisle. One honest thing worth saying here. This mix activates microbial life that's already in your soil. If your soil is compacted, dead, or hasn't grown anything in years, this helps, but it's not doing that work alone. Loosening the soil and clearing weeds before you apply it matters more than people think. That step is doing real work, not just tidying up. Peppers respond to the same feeding for the same reason. Root system decides flavor there too, not just in tomatoes. This is the thing I actually believe about growing food at home. Flavor was never about the fruit. It's about whether the roots got what they needed while nobody was watching, weeks before there was anything to see. If this is useful, subscribing helps these videos reach more backyards like yours. If you want a hand mapping out when to feed and harvest through your season, I keep a free garden planning calculator on the site. Links in the description. I'd mix a batch today if your tomatoes are already flowering. That window doesn't stay open long, and it's what decides what you actually taste in August.